997. Yes, that's the super dial. And remember, the conversation is about the Black Stars today. Ghana 1, Ethiopia 0. That was the full-time score. And I'll be reading to you loads of messages from my personal Facebook page after asking about your thoughts when it comes to the Black Stars and their performance. People have stuff to say, though, you know? It's time for Formula One action, and Dr. Asante Appiah is seated. Nasa Ebuedi is also seated. Of course, in recent times, he's been associated with the Stanbic Business Breakfast and a few other big thought leadership platforms. And I said the other day, I saw I saw a makeup artist trying to mess with your with your shiny head.
Let's not start the conversation.
Good to see you, gentlemen, and it's great to have you in the studio once again.
Good to be here, Nats.
Before we get into the Dutch Grand Prix and the big expectations this weekend, I mean, hey, last weekend there was a lot of rain. It was raining, chimpanzees and and alligators. I mean, look, tell me, for you, from where you sat, I mean, how it went for you and your general impressions about how, Max had to win, with a few laps and all of that.
For us watching it, I think it was frustrating.
Yeah.
Sitting around for like 2 to 3 hours,
4 hours.
for 4 hours waiting for the race to start. I mean, on screen we could see them at the, circuit dancing, all this. So they were enjoying. It was a party for them, like they always do. But for us, it was tedious watching it, and it was even worse because some of the rules were not clear from the onset. So even the commentators and the experts didn't know what was going to happen. What time was the race going to start? How many laps did they need to really call it a race? Or what? I mean, in the end, they did 2 laps, and they called it a race. I mean, so people are still talking about it. It was frustrating. I won't call it a race because 2 laps, that's not enough for everybody to really get into a proper race and start chasing each other around. That's not. So, yeah.
Doc, what do you think?
It was very frustrating for me. I knew that the stewards and the people controlling the race knew there would be no race because they had the weather forecast. They saw what was going on. The main thing for me was that they were trying to rip the fans off their money.
Okay.
Because if they had called off the race, then it would mean they will have to refund the race. But the other shocking thing is that they knew that the race today is just 3 hours drive away from where they were. So they could have cancelled the race and told the spectators and the fans that they could use their tickets for the next race. Because it's in the same place, the same country, virtually, And it gave the impression that the sport is all about making money and money and money, and that there's no goodwill towards the fans. That is the part that I didn't like.
I said, tell me about, Max Verstappen. He won that race.
Yes.
How would you want him to take this as well? Because, look, I read loads of the comments from all over the world on social media. And, there are times when you win, you win. But the way and the mode with which you win also determines your own level of satisfaction and also your conscience, around all of it.
Knowing the kind of competitor he is, I don't think he'll be happy with the way that he won the race. He would love the points, but he would have loved to race Hamilton because remember, this was like a comeback for him, having lost. I mean, I think the last race he had, he crashed his car, so he didn't finish. So it was like a comeback for him. And all of a sudden, Hamilton has overtaken him in the points. And so it was a comeback race for him. He was really hoping to win a proper race, and that didn't happen. So I don't think he would celebrate. He would love the point, but he wouldn't celebrate, and he'll be looking forward to the race this week in his home country.
Then let me add it.
Yeah.
Let me add this to
Sure.
it. If at the end of the season he wins the championship, people will say you won it by default
Yeah,
because you were given 3 points.
yeah, yeah.
You know, so it will go a long way to hound him.
I see.
And that is why I did not want them. I wanted them to cancel the race and do it the following day or make another plan. You know, they've done it before. This
Yeah.
is the first time that I can remember that they've gone round the safety car in 2 laps and they've declared a race. I mean, it was very bad. Look at Red Bull. They had a car which had an accident. They hustled, puffed, and got the car ready just to score no points. So the people who had no points, I mean, from number 20 to number 10, I mean, it was just a big fuss. I mean, I wouldn't be happy if I didn't get any chance to get a point.
It's the kind of thing you see in African football. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I mean, where everything is done so they can keep the money, they don't have to refund the money. So you see matches being abandoned and they'll keep you there. Or even African flights, where they will keep you waiting at the airport and just before when they need to really refund, they will make another arrangement. So it's crazy. But hey, we have
Well,
another race tomorrow.
Exactly. And weather will not exactly look clear as well. So there is that threat again of the weather.
This weekend.
Yeah,
Oh, this weekend the forecast is nice.
pretty nice.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
going to have a clean race. It won't rain.
Okay.
It won't
Okay.
rain. So far.
No surprise. Sometimes the weather also, the forecast also, let's just hope that it's it's clear, just like the weather
just for the
forecast
sake
tells us.
of the Orange Army.
And if it happens, hopefully
Yeah.
they plan it properly. So at least they have a window in which to race and not have people sitting around
Sure.
waiting. Yeah.
Also, let's once again remain on the subject of Max Verstappen some more as we try to wrap up the conversation. As he's going home, clearly he would want to do something for his fans, and he would also want to stamp his foot and his authority and say, look, you may think that this was a quarter race or 1/10 of a race, but well, this is what you all missed, and this is me. He would want to prove a point.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
And I think that's a big challenge for him. I mean, he's going to be motivated because he's at home. He's what, 3 points
The
behind?
first time in 36 years.
Yeah, first time in 36 years.
that they're having a race in Holland.
Yeah.
So-
He's what, 3 points behind Hamilton?
Something like that.
Yeah, so that's another one for him. And like I said, the last few races haven't been great for him. So you really want to. It's like a resurgence for him. And if you can be able to do that, then you can say, hey, forget about last week. I'm the real guy now. Yeah.
Wow, interesting stuff there. Okay, well, so in terms of the expectations, how would you want it to go this Sunday, tomorrow?
Well, it looks like Max is really on point. So far, I think in P3 he had the fastest laps, even though he was told by his teammates, So it's going to be a very, very interesting race. It's like a Monaco race or in a track, Overtaking will be difficult, but tires and tire wear and things will determine probably the
And when you
strategy
get your
of who
pit
will have
stop.
to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it looks like it's going to be a very close race.
Is,
Very, very.
is Hamilton having an issue with his car? I
Well,
think
he had-
yesterday or the day before.
He went off, but today he came back strong.
Okay.
And the Mercedes are just close behind him.
I'm just asking because some of us whose teams are not doing very well are by default Red Bull fans. Just so the Mercedes army knows that we Ferrari boys are now Red Bull fans. So yeah.
I see. Okay, so any surprises as well you expect?
Oh yes, today anything can happen. It's because it's a new track. The only person who's driven the track before is Max. All the other people don't have any ideas about it in a Formula One car. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Nobody knows how the tire wear is going to go. So they will all be at sea in terms of tire strategy. It's going to be very, very interesting race tomorrow.
Well, interesting stuff there. Okay, so Labadi Beach Hotel, right?
Yes.
And lights out is 1 p.m.
o'clock?
1 p.m. as usual. Well, let's wish everybody well, and let's hope
Yeah.
it goes well. This time around, we're going to have a full, smooth race, isn't it?
For sure.
All right, gentlemen, would like to say a very big thank you to you. Thanks so much. And
Thanks, man.
yeah, all the best with it. But just before we go, Nase, I know you always like to wade into the football conversations. Today, we're not talking Liverpool here.
No,
We're not
okay.
talking Liverpool here. Yeah, we drew with you last weekend. It's okay. I mean, we'll talk about that after the show.
Another day. Yeah.
But hey, did you manage to catch a bit of the game, the Black Stars game yesterday?
I did.
You did?
I couldn't recognize the midfield.
Okay.
This is not the Asian Muntari midfield that we used to. We've always had a strong midfield. The only consolation is that we're missing, what's his name, Partey.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure we really have a team. We're really going to struggle. I mean, we've got some difficult away games. South Africa, Zimbabwe, those will be tricky. If we can't win comfortably against Ethiopia at home, I'm not sure what we're going to do. And number two, I don't know what we're doing with Dede. We're playing him all over the place. Is he being played as a 10? Is he being played as a winger, as a striker? I don't know. So we've got issues that we need to sort out.
Wow. Well, let's see how it goes. Okay, thank you very much, Nasa Ebwedi and Dr. Asante Appiah. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful having you. So lights out, tomorrow 1 p.m., but you have to be there ahead of time because there are many big, beautiful deals for you and beautiful ambience and wonderful people to watch this big race with the Dutch Grand Prix in partnership with Joy 997 FM, Alabadi Beach Hotel, Skechers, and the rest of the team.
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you so much. I'll catch you. And,
Thank you.
Have a wonderful time.
All right, thank you.
With a chain representing penitentiaries from Warren Town to Bordentown, from North to Illtown, and all you know from life was right 'cause the phone wasn't dropping too fast. I was flying too low. You think I'm rocking too quick? I think you listen too slow. I'm abruptly constructing a bumping assumption. You diss while your family say I'm the best shit since fucking strucking by an obstruction of turning something to nothing from push it to mush it. It's the ripping every function, bucking it up, pumping it up, jumping the ducks, looking to hump, been stuck in the trunk, pumping me up, me up.
Still here on Joy 99.7 FM with the Joy Sports Link. And of course, remember, we're very, very, very heavy on the Black Stars this afternoon. And it sure is going to be a wonderful conversation because we know we have you and we have your thoughts as well as part of this very big conversation. Yesterday, I got a few phone calls and there were a few people asking about where they could, also view the game while they listen to commentary on Joy 99.7 FM. And so it just tells you that everybody is interested in the Black Stars. I mean, that conversation is now final. And we know that everybody is, interested in the Black Stars. So just before we get into the conversation, just remember that we're going to be having this conversation with Coach Osman Saidu, who is the vice chairman of the Greater Accra Coaches Association, also a seasoned scout as well, and the pundit here on our platforms. We'll also be picking the thoughts of ex-Ghana international Derek Boateng, who's also a scout and a main scout with the Right to Dream Academy. And Hans Mensah-Ander of Joy Sports brought you commentary from the ground. And we're going to be gauging all of this from his lens as well. Most important of all of it is you, who also have major concerns. Let me just run through my page on Facebook, Nathaniel Atto Citizen Atto, and I'm going to just give you a feel of what the responses are like. And what question did I ask? I said, okay, so your honest opinion about the Black Stars game against Ethiopia is, and these are the kinds of comments that came through. Ni Ayante said, I think the Black Stars team will go through, they'll go far. Hopefully their managers will keep the core of the team for the rest of the World Cup qualifiers and the Africa Cup of Nations. Thank you very much, Ni Ayante. Kwesi Apia says, a dry run. How many shots at goal in 90 minutes? And he's asking a question. Alfred Opata says, that's how much you pay when you don't pay your coach what is due him. Dr. Hadi Mohammed Abdullah said, excellent professional performance. That's what he thinks. Emmanuel K. Botre says, we got 3 important points, and that's what matters. If we keep on fighting for the 3 points all the time, we are good to go. Okay. Francis Nene Awasari says, such good pragmatic performance. We're improving to go far through the qualifiers in Qatar in 2022. Edward Nelson Addy says it was a total waste of time. No game plan. I'll see if they came over to train. As for the captain, the least said, the better. Fiawoyife Asiwome says, okay, I didn't watch the game, but after reading the comments, I'm wondering if this is about the Black Stars or Arsenal. The complaints are strikingly similar. Michael Nunujo Jokoto says it was not encouraging. Raphael Shakoni says, I guess the coach lacked ideas. He was just making subs. Del DeGel says it was terrible. And then somebody, also is saying this, and he says, add the following players to the Hearts of Oak 11, and Ghana is good to face any team. Abdul Ganiu of Kotoko, Wakaso, Kwame Poku, plus Coach Boedu and his assistants. This is from Chris Tornado Labila. John Tate says it was poorest. Marcus J says, let's face it, it's CK. Or it'll be one of the worst coaches we've had, with no pattern of play and an absolutely shambolic performance. Supremo Gonja says, Hearts of Oak plays better football than the Black Stars. Bernard Quay says, not a good one. At this point, they were playing as if they were the home side. Not a vintage performance. Citizen Manaf says, CK Akono is lucky to have his players, but not taking his chances, thanks to Wakaso. Sena says, it was disappointing and uninspiring. William Atakpa says, poor performance, but the 3 points is a good start. Okay, so these are some of the thoughts, and this is only from my page, okay? I'm going to gauge some of the thoughts as well from some of our official Joy Sports handles, and we're going to see how, people are thinking and what they're saying about this performance that the Black Stars posted against Ethiopia. Remember, the next game is against South Africa. And of course, we're going to bring you live commentary right here on Joy 99.7 FM. So keep the messages coming in. Let's have a discussion on this. This is the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Nathaniel Atto, and it's great to be in your company.
Good tidings I bring you. A message to you, my friend. Voices cry, invoke your angels. When flesh I drop, it cannot conquer dread, no. So blow away your blues and feelings.
Fans, the money no be problem, fans. Then we go score you, fans. The sports fans.
Bet of Africa is an online sports betting experience that gives you the chance to turn your game and player predictions to wins. All you have to do is register an account with Bet of Africa and get your first bet free. You also get 100% on first deposit up to 1,000 Ghana cedis. Bet of Africa day your corner, your ring, your center circle, your goalpost, your pocket. With Bet of Africa, there's more to every game because when their teams win, they win. Download the app now and stand the chance to win with your team. Choose Bet of Africa. Terms and conditions apply. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly, not for persons below 18 years. Gaming can be addictive.
All right, thank you very much for staying here with us on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. Welcome to the main conversation here on the show. And just before we go into it, as I promised, we're going to be taking some thoughts about one legend of football administration here in Ghana, whose work was evident in the kinds of structures that he laid within his own setup, and also, you know, the kinds of results that he got in terms of these products that he, put up into the world of football. The founder of Liberty Professionals, Alhaji Ibrahim Edward Sly Tete, died, sometime 10 years ago, on September 3, after playing the game that he loved most and the game that gave him significance. A strong man and a strong name and face on the African continent when it also came to his networking and his ties with all the movers and shakers of football here on the continent and in other places in the world. And of course, when Ghana had to go through a qualification phase for her very first appearance for the FIFA World Cup, he was there, and his products had then become mature, and they filled the spaces and took the flag and took the mantle and made it happen for Ghana at the FIFA World Cup. So the late Alhaji Sly Tete has done his bit, and what is left is for the football community here in Ghana to also move to the next level. He had so many dreams, he had so many structures that he had put up. Some of them I had personally covered and had seen. And years on, obviously, we cannot tell a very positive and good story about Liberty Professionals, especially because they've slumped into relegation for the very first time since they ventured into the Ghana Premier League. So there's a lot to talk about. I don't know what you remember of him, but if you have any thoughts as well, you can send them. We want to start off the conversation with him because I do remember very well that 10 years ago, Ghana had played a qualifier against Malawi, and Ghana had won, played a very good game. We had set up interviews for the Joy Sports Link right here, and at the time I was the producer of the show, and we woke up to very, very bad news of his passing. So, well, our condolences will go to his family once again and the whole football community, and we know that his legacy will be protected, and many positives will be picked from what he did during his lifetime. Well, I would like to welcome here Coach Osman Saidu, who is a regular pundit on our shows here. Coach, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you too for inviting me.
Coach Osman Saidu is the vice chairman of the Greater Accra Coaches Association under the Ghana Soccer Coaches Association as well. Coach, let's begin with Alhaji Sly Tete and what he taught us during his years, running Liberty Professionals and giving players opportunities to go and add their craft to different football markets around the world.
Thank you very much, Nat. Nat, I would like to celebrate Alhaji Sly Tete for two reasons. One is that for me, he's the one who qualified Ghana to our first World Cup in Germany. The reason is that if you do a critical analysis of the squad that we were using to play that World Cup, you realize that he contributed not less than 30% of the players that were there. And those 30% are like a Pareto rule. In a Pareto rule, you have 20% of your customers giving you 80% of your revenue. So even those 30 or even 20% were giving us 80% of the result. You can talk about Sule Mutari, you can talk about Michael Essien. These are two instrumental players that really played well in Germany 2008. having said this, I would like to celebrate Slighteta once again for the vision he had. I mean, for some time now, I could say he's the only team or team owner that has been so instrumental and impactful, both financial and tactical aspect of our games in Ghana. Why did this happen? Because at early age, when he took Sule Mutari and Michael Essien and co to Europe to start playing football, they had the opportunity of training with better equipment, having very good coaches. So it kind of transformed them immediately, not knowing it was transforming them for Ghana to qualify to their first World Cup. So on any day, I would like to celebrate Slighteta. May his soul rest in peace. Unfortunately, not very unfortunately, as we're saying this, Liberty Professional is no more playing in the Premier League. Very unfortunate. I know Slighteta will not be happy about this, and that's one of our challenge as a country. We are not able to maintain. Sustainability is a huge issue, not only in facilities. It also affects our ideologies and the way we do things. I think Liberty should get themselves together with that answer and see how best they can come back.
And he also had the academy idea. He had set up academies in Kenya and in Togo, the Liberty Academies in Kenya and in Togo. I've been to the Liberty Academy in Togo, and I was amazed at what I saw, what he had done there. He had completed the first phase, and the paramount chief of the Agbadrafor area in Togo had given him more land to develop the second phase. And at the time, he had every standard, every standard infrastructure that you needed to put up an academy. He had an administration, he had a dormitory block, he had pitches, he had the technical classroom area, he had leisure areas, and I was so impressed.
Yeah, the vision he had was big. He really was seeing things that most Ghanaians were not seeing. I mean, for the fact that you've been able to go outside the boundaries of Ghana to establish an academy, it means you know what you're talking about. To me, it's very unfortunate we lost him. We could have been better in terms of football as a country, even though he was doing his private business with Alhaji Slighteta. I really am not happy that we lost him at that early, and I think it's a blow to Ghana football.
Well, keep your messages coming in, and we'll be glad to share them with everyone else. We're throwing the focus now on the Black Stars. Ahead of this game, there was the worry that we're not going to have consistency over 2 games because of the issues that came up with regulations around going to play in red zones or COVID-19 red zones, one of which is South Africa, where we're playing our next game. So the expectation then was that this game was going to have full impact and was going to churn out a very big result that could spike us up, not only with the standard 3 points, but also with goals. What were your expectations before the game anyway?
Nat, there is one thing I would like to mention before I continue with my expectation, that there is a paradigm shift globally when it comes to football. We've moved from the artistic way of playing football to the scientific way of playing football. Now, what I'm trying to say is that you cannot underrate any opponent in modern football. Ethiopia is not a small team. Ethiopia is playing well and they have talents, and Ethiopia is fast becoming a football nation, if not a football nation. Now, so my expectation before this match was the fact that I really just wanted us to win, because I know Ethiopia can equally play as we also play. Gone are the days when we could say, if you're playing against Ghana, what you could only ask is, how many goals did Ghana score? Not what was the scoreline of the game. So before the game, my expectation was really that I just wanted us to win. I was not really concerned about the goals, because I've done a bit of background check around Ethiopia, and I realized that they are also on shape, and they are determined to also qualify to the World Cup. Now, having said this, I watched the game, 90 minutes, and one thing I want to say is that, first, I'm just assuming if we had not won this game, what would happen? because I could hear a lot of comments, and it's in the right direction because we all have passion for football, and as a country, we love our countries. We are citizens, not spectators. So we have every right to comment about what we think is not, to our standard or what we like. But what I want to draw our attention to is the fact that we could have lost this game and lost the 3 points. But the good news is that we've won the game. At the end of the day, we've won the game. At this stage, it's more of results than, the ultimate aim is to have a total football, enjoy the game, and win the game. So it's two thematic areas. You play football, good football, you win. You have two options. Either you play good football and you don't win, or you win and you don't play good football, or you play good football and you win. For me, what is outstanding in all this equation is the winning, because we want result and we have won. Now, we could be better, yes. But at the end of the day, that is what we had. And as a country, what I want us to do is to support the team and the coach. We can castigate them as much as we can because of the passion we have for soccer. However, we quickly must get back to the drawing board and see what best we can do to support them to perform better. Our next game is against South Africa. Now, if we allow or expose our coaches and the players to all this attack, psychologically, they might not be ready for the game against South Africa. And to me, the game against South Africa is even more important than the game against Ethiopia, because once we're able to get a good result in South Africa, it means we are on course and we are able to do it. But the good news is that we could have lost the game. We won the game. The play was not to some of our standards. Let's look at how best we can patch it and move forward as a country.
Well, loads of messages are coming in, and let me get into them. Let's begin from the top, okay? Remember, it's 055-1111-997. Okay, so Patrick in the Central Region says we needed the 3 points and we got it, but we did not play as a team. We have to lift our game. Patrick from Central Region, thank you very much for your messages. Well, Sir Prepe inside Legon says it was a stodgy and shambolic performance, and these players need enough time to gel. Okay, that's a very interesting point you've raised there. Needing enough time to gel. We're in the thick of qualifiers, so well. This one is from Andor in Accra, and he says that Jordan Ayew, who scored a single goal as a striker in a whole EPL season last season, plays as a Black Star striker. It is scandalous. All right. Thank you very much, Andor. There is another one here that reads, "Good day, Nat. Your intro was spot on. And yes, I was waiting for today so I can have my say. First, the Black Stars performance is a substandard, but at least we have gotten full 3 points. Secondly, our team lacks cohesion and tenacity. Thirdly, why won't CK feature our talisman Abdul Fattah Isaaku? This young lad won the AFCON player of the tournament at the under-20 level, and we aren't at least giving him some time to play. We need some of the older folks within the team, Kevin Prince, Sule, and Asamoah, who would do us some good. Shem Mixon Yeboah, Bros Barbecue." Thank you very much, Shem Mixon Yeboah. And that's a subject I'm going to come to. This thing about getting, the very experienced players who, some of who are not even relatively very active, back into the team. Is it a realistic call? We could look at that as well. Now, this one is from Mark. This is from Mark in Canada Water in London. Well, he says, what did you expect CK to do? What did he do wrong as a coach? As Graham Souness aptly put it some years back, discussing the Scottish national team, he says, and I quote, "A national team is not like a club where players can be bought. For the national team, you can only use materials at your disposal. If the materials are bad, then your national team will be bad, even if it is managed by God. Our materials for the national team are bad, and that is the issue." Okay, Mark, thank you very much, and using that Graham Souness philosophy there. Okay, There's another one here. It says, good show as usual, Citizen Ato. As for some of us, it seems we're tired about talking about the Black Stars. We talk about quality and people don't want us to talk about it. I think it's about time that it gives way and lets others do their part. How come Jordan consistently makes it to Ghana's 11 when he scored just one EPL goal at the beginning of last season? Check the Nigerian team. Paul Onuachu last season scored 35 in the Belgian league, but yesterday Nigeria's match against Liberia saw him come on from the bench, and that is what you call quality. Godwin in North Kanishi sends that one. Okay. Thank you very much, Godwin in North Kanishi. Okay, this one is from Kwashi. Kwashi says, Nat, we don't have quality, and we don't have the man with the technical knowledge to guide and mold these Chinese goods and the Division 2 goods and any quality products to win matches that make a difference. I fear we can't make it to Qatar. Okay, those are your thoughts, Kwashi. Thank you very much. And so you'd have to keep them coming. 055 11997. This is from Success PK in Dakuman Corridor Street. Good afternoon, Nat. I was a bit embarrassed by the Black Stars' performance last night. As for Jordan, there no comment at all. The same win is the most important thing. Okay. Thank you very much, Success. Okay. There's another one here that I seem to have missed for a bit. There we go. So this is our team, dear. We have to sit up or else South Africa will expose Akunospor tactics. This is from Harry in Hacho. Okay, I'll come back to your messages, but keep them coming. Remember that later on we'll also activate the phone line so that you can join us. Let me add this one just before I come back to Coach. That is Sam Bannerman from the USA. Sam, good to hear from you. The Black Stars' performance yesterday was not encouraging at all. The team really struggled against the Ethiopians. Okay, Coach. Now, is this a thing with football fans? I do understand that we're not happy as football fans. We want to see the Black Stars progress, but are the fans being too harsh? Because you have been a fan before you decided to go into coaching as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying, that for them, it's okay. All they want to see is win. They always want to win. But in reality, winning does not happen in a vacuum. It happens because of something you have done. Let me share a typical example. Accra Lions, they started their season in Division 1 league without really concentrating on winning the trophy or becoming the champions. What their concentration was on is to play good football and win. And out of that investment, it yielded result that has seen them to become champions. And to me, that's the perspective or the lens that our supporters must start wearing. That you just don't expect to win out of nothing. You have to prepare. There should be a real preparation towards something that you want to win. Now, as a country, I always ask, Nat, what is our philosophy? What philosophy are we using? What is our transition from U17 to U20 to U23 and then to Black Stars? Now, you do not expect a player to just start playing Black Star just like that and just follow whatever they want to play. So what I'm realizing is that we are getting this result out of something we have failed to do. Like one gentleman said, even if you bring God to become the coach, you will not be expecting to get any better result. Because, look, what you input will determine what your output will be. And to me, the challenge is with the input. And the input has everything to do with all stakeholders in Ghana. Call them coaches, call them journalists, call them spectators. We all would have to withdraw back a little bit, get back to the drawing board and start from somewhere. Otherwise, we'll be getting the same result. If you keep doing what you keep doing always without changing, you never get a better result. So this performance is not out of nothing. It's out of what we've done over the years. And we keep doing it, so we do not expect to get a change. Currently, what is the philosophy that we are using in our U17? And what is our transition strategy? We have the men who are capable of doing it. Let us engage them and get a better result. Otherwise, it's always going to be like this. You do not expect how many new players do we have in the team yesterday? Kamal Dean, I mean, you can just mention them. The cohesion cannot be there. It's not possible. They've not played for a long time together. And I keep on hearing you can only come for 1 week. It has been like that always and everywhere. But some teams are playing better. Why? Because there is a well-planned strategy. There is a transition strategy from U17 to U20 to U23. So for me, really, they have every right to complain about the performance of Black Stars. But they're only talking about the output. Let us, as stakeholders, also start talking about the input so that we could correct it at the input level. It has nothing to do with the coach. The coach, I support him, and I know he could do better, and he's going to do better in South Africa. It doesn't matter what the coach does if we really do not get good input. Not only in terms of talent. No, let's run away from that. It's not only talent. I'm talking about the holistic input in terms of football.
Holistic input in terms of football, and we'll be getting on the phone line as well and on Zoom as well to have a few other thoughts. So this is from Jonas in Lashibi. He says, not from your point of view, who was the striker for the Black Stars? Okay, now let's discuss Jordan Ayew, for a little bit. I've realized the trend that Jordan Ayew gets so much backlash when it doesn't go well for him, and I don't know why. I don't get it.
Nat, I would like to debate.
I mean, because there are players in the Black Stars who have bad days and do not necessarily get the kind of trolling that Jordan gets sometimes when he has a bad day.
So you see, Nat, it's a whole thing. But let me start from the point of view that our upbringing has a lot to do about what we'll do when we grow. So for me, it's more of attitudinal backlash that Jordan is getting than talent. And we need to understand him. That's the way he is. That's the way he was brought up. If he doesn't want to talk to you, he won't talk to you. It is not compulsory to talk to him if he doesn't want to talk to you. And to me, I want to challenge anybody. You could be a coach, you could be a spectator, you could be whatever. I'm challenging you. I am saying Jordan is the best striker we have in Ghana currently. Come out with another striker and let us do the analysis. From techniques to tactics to ready to play, psychologically, I think Jordan is ahead of all strikers. Call names. You cannot call any name. What is his problem? He's a human being and he can make mistakes just like any other players. But now I see that coming from a bit side of the way we were brought out as a nation. So in Ghana, if you do not succumb yourself to some pressure, if you do not really see somebody and bow down to pray and to greet the person, or if you are on your own, you are seen as somebody who is arrogant. And to me, I am challenging anybody. I see what is happening to Jordan from perhaps maybe moral side of his play and not from the tactics or the tactical side of what he is doing. And I challenge, who is better than Jordan? Tell me in Ghana now, who? No striker is better than Jordan in Ghana today. Mention the name. And we'll do a critical analysis. And you realize that Jordan is way, way, way ahead of all the strikers that you can ever think of in Ghana now. So perhaps maybe we need to give him a psychologist. We need to psych him to also adapt to the systems that we have so that people will start to like him, and then people will start to understand him and accept his style of play. But really, it's not about tactics, it's not about techniques. Nobody can match Jordan in Ghana now when it comes to tactics as a striker or when it comes to techniques as a striker. Nobody. Jordan is even better than his brother Dede Ayew when you are talking about good football and tactics. And techniques. Jordan is better than Dede Ayew. I say this without any fear or favor.
That's how we do on the Joy Sports Link, and that's why you also have to join with your constructive feedback on what happened yesterday in the game between the Black Stars and Ethiopia. After all of this is done, we're also going to look ahead and make a few projections into what we should expect the Black Stars to do against the Bafana Bafana, who are old foes when it comes to this particular venture, which is wanting to qualify for the FIFA World Cup. We do remember the very first time that Ghana wanted to qualify. South Africa had to come at South Africa's expense, and so they are regular foes. There are also unsettled scores from the mid-90s where, South Africa posted one very painful victory against the Black Stars en route to winning the Africa Cup of Nations back in 1996 when they hosted it. Okay, let's get on the phone line and speak to Joy Sports' Hans Mensah Andor, our anchor who was our main commentator for the game yesterday from the Cape Coast Stadium. Hans, it's good to have you on the Joy Sports link.
Thanks for having me, and let me say good afternoon to our audience, and great to be back on the show.
Now, you were there, and I'm sure that you saw some of the reactions from the limited number of fans who came into the stadium. And before you go ahead, I think it's a good time to give big plaudits to our friends from Casford, from Casely Hayford Hall in University of Cape Coast. They have been consistent with following the Black Stars, and they actually have a fixed spot at the stadium, and they always make sure they are represented there anytime the Black Stars are playing. And I think we should give big salutes to the continuing students of Casford, of Casely Hayford Hall, of the University of Cape Coast. Okay, Hans, let's get back to the reactions that you got before we get into other aspects of what you saw giving commentary.
I mean, on the whole, people were not impressed. People were dissatisfied with the performance. I think that for a lot of people, you talk about the 3 points for the Black Stars, they are top of the group. But people are genuinely worried about the sort of performance that they saw and the fact that the qualifiers is a long process, especially when even after topping your group, you have to be involved in the playoffs to be able to see the sport at the FIFA World Cup. So those were the concerns that people were expressing, that the sort of performance we witnessed yesterday will not get the Black Stars to Qatar in 2022.
I see. Okay, let's come to you. I mean, this is thoughts that you put together from others. Let's come to you and how you feel. There are those who say, listen, what is important in ventures like these is to make sure that you record as many points on the table as possible. And that is what matters really, because the teams with the most number of points are the teams that will progress.
Now,
what about that side of the argument?
Be that as it may, you must also realize that impending events often cast a very large shadow. I have to agree with the sentiment expressed by people. That is not a performance that gets a country to the FIFA World Cup. Look, we've been to the FIFA World Cup 3 times. We are very familiar with the sort of performances and commitments that got us there. That is not what we witnessed in that game. You probably will put up that sort of performance and get away with a 1-0 victory and 3 points against Ethiopia at home. Let's add that. We played at home. With that sort of performance, if Ethiopia had played at home, all things being equal, you would assume that they probably could have gotten a draw from that game. It's not a given. Maybe away from home, the Black Star performance would be different. But on evidence of what we saw, you do get a sense that if the Ethiopians were playing at home with their home fans behind them, it probably could have, nicked the point of the Black Stars. The crux of the matter is that what we saw yesterday is simply not good enough. And this is my opinion. A lot of people share that opinion. I don't think that I have to digress from that opinion. I witnessed the same game that they witnessed. And as a Ghanaian, as a fan of the Black Stars, I'm as worried as every single person who watched the game at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium yesterday, or watched it on TV, or followed live commentary on Joy 99.7 FM. Personally, I think that it was uninspiring, it was drab, and if you're looking for a team to qualify and play at the World Cup. The Black Stars at this moment don't have that team.
Do you have any standout players or any players who at least gave you a certain level of motivation and hope about this whole situation in the Black Stars team?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, as bad as the performance was, I think there were a few bright spots. Alexander Jiku was brilliant, and it's refreshing to see that he's striking a certain partnership with Daniel Amati. So yes, that's certainly a positive. Baba Ikisu as well, I think put in a very composed performance. You know, I watched him yesterday, and there were moments where I felt that's possessor of the qualities that we saw in Anthony Annan, you know, back then. So yes, a few bright spots, but it's really difficult for those performances to stand out just because of the level of performance that we saw all round. You know, very, very difficult for those performances to stand out. But if I have to, you know, mention one or two players, it has to be Alexander Jiku and then Baba Iddrisu.
Well, we've been discussing the Jordan Ayew subject because we realized that, you know, his name is mentioned, you know, several times on social media and everything, and he's getting a lot of backlash. And Coach Osman Seidu here in the studio is saying that whether we like it or not, Jordan is our best striking option.
When you are put in a team of 11 players for football, and your position is that you are the striker, the expectation is that you are going to put the ball at the back of the net. You are tasked with the responsibility of ensuring that the ball ends up at the back of the net. Of course, there are other responsibilities that you are supposed to shoulder, but the primary responsibility and expectation is that you are the man who is going to provide the goals. Because when the defenders ensure that the ball is not entering your team's net, when the midfielders ensure that they are linking up with the defense and getting the ball to you, your responsibility then becomes to ensure that you are putting the ball at the back of the net, or at least feeding somebody to do that job. I think that if I have to mention a positive about Jordan, especially from yesterday, it has to be his industry. He ran his socks off. But there were lots of moments where the decision-making was quite terrible, in my opinion. And it's something that I have come to see about Jordan Ayew. It's also telling because you have to look at the amount of goals he scores. He doesn't score a lot of goals. Jordan doesn't score a lot of goals. His conversion rate for a striker is not top level. He will give you the hard work. Technically he's sound, but when it comes to the most critical moment where he has to make a decision that ensures that the ball hits the back of the net, very often he makes the wrong choice. We see flashes of his brilliance. And look, I saw the solo goal that he scored against Crystal Palace, that he scored for Crystal Palace last season, chipping the goalkeeper. Brilliant. We've seen him score against Manchester United, but we've also seen him miss glaring opportunities, and sometimes it is frustrating. Difficult to disagree with Coach that at this moment, in terms of our striking options, he's the best we have. But I think that if Jordan is to drive, he's going to require support up front. He has to play off another striker. So he's either supplying that striker, or that striker is supplying him such that he doesn't have to do too much to put the ball at the back of the net. Otherwise, what we saw yesterday, in a lot of moments, he was isolated, surrounded by 3, 4, 5 Ethiopian players where he has to do so many touches of the ball, and in the end, he's crowded out and he loses the ball. You know, so that is a frustrating bit. Also because you know what he's capable of, but in key moments where you think that the Black Stars are going to get a goal, he makes a decision that doesn't end up with the ball hitting the back of the net. So yes, he's the best we have. But the real question is this: did he deliver? Did he deliver yesterday? Can he deliver to it? On zone by himself.
All right, we seem to be losing you there. So kindly reposition yourself. Your messages are very welcome, and this is the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. We've been discussing, the Black Stars and how it has gone, and the kinds of concerns that the performance raises ahead of that next game against South Africa in South Africa. So, Coach, Hans has made a few very clear points about the subject of Jordan Ayew, for instance, and clearly, yes, he's not your tight regular guy who will be scoring the goals on any or every other day. But of course, sometimes he gets the job done and that well.
Yeah, like any other human being, sometimes he also doesn't get it correct, and we need to accept him the way he is, celebrate him, and of course criticize him like we're doing when we have to. But hey, we have another match on Monday, and if we keep criticizing and hammering on these, and it's going to have a psychological toll on him, and he's not able to deliver again. And who loses? We lose as a country. Like I said, Hans even confirmed the fact that I do not think currently we have any striker that is better than Jordan Ayew. He did confirm, but I also, totally agree with him that sometimes in some instances, Jordan is not doing what he's expected to do. But that's what we have. So what do? Let's maintain him, make good use of him as we prepare others to come and augment what he's doing, so that at the end of the day, we benefit as a country. Look, trust me, if we are able, like Hans said, if we're able to get somebody who could pair very well with Jordan Ayew and to play two tops for Black Stars in a typical match, I think you would see the talent, you would see the useful of Jordan Ayew better than what you are seeing. And look, let's be fair to Jordan Ayew. Yesterday, he was not a typical striker even in the game. We also what happened. He was moved to the left side, he moved to the right side. It was Dede Ayew who was rather the typical striker of the game yesterday. So to me, what I think we should be doing now is, yes, let's criticize them when they've not done well. Let's talk about it when we think they are not playing what we want them to play. But hey, we can only make that noise. It doesn't solve any problem. As I said, Nat, initially, to me, the problem is the input and not the outputs.
Okay. 055-1111-997, 055-1111-997. It's 80 minutes past 1 p.m. here on the Joy Sports Link. We'll be activating the phone lines very shortly so that you can join us with your thoughts. We go on to the game against South Africa very soon. Clearly, we're not going to be having any player who plays within, the EPL. We're definitely not going to have, Jordan Ayew. Of course, Schlupp also picked up a strain, and so because of that, he will not be available for the coach. How difficult do we expect this game to be? Let me begin with you, Hans, on the line. Hans.
Very difficult. We sat here and analyzed the game that Jordan Ayew played yesterday. We've also admitted that just in terms of our striking option, it's the best option that we have. That is the fact. Yes, of course, there are other people who want to see other strikers given opportunities. But look, these players train. Even apart from the training with the national team, they play in their various leagues. Jordan plays in the Premier League. 10 goals in the Premier League weighs heavier than 20 goals in the Polish league or the Vietnamese league or whichever league. Let's get that clear. And so, we are going to be missing something. If for nothing at all, you have Jordan joined 3, 4, 5 players onto himself alone to free up other players. So we are going to be missing that. That makes it quite difficult for Coach T.K. Akono. speaking of CK Akono, probably beginning to sound like a broken record, but I don't think that he's doing himself a lot of favors. You know, I don't think that he's doing himself a lot of favors at all. When you consistently line up your team and they are not able to play to a clear pattern, they are not able to play as a team that should play together, that should demonstrate a certain direction tactically. As a team that should be able to tell those watching that this is how our coach has asked us to play, it becomes problematic. It's almost as if he's struggling to get his ideas across to the players. It's almost as if the players are struggling to carry out, you know, the way he wants them to play. We've talked previously in the past about how the Eastern European coaches come with this one-goal projects where you have the Black Stars sitting deep, you know, keeping their shape and playing on the counter. Just one goal and being able to defend it and then get a point or whatever that they need. Here's a question. How does CK Akono's Black Stars play? You know, so it becomes very difficult. Now, for the South African game, you expect, that probably may not be the case, but you expect that South Africa is going to present a tougher challenge than the Ethiopians presented. If the Ethiopians played in the manner that they did, and look, yesterday, I was shocked at how the Ethiopians were so confident to play out of defense. And in some cases, run rings around the Black Stars players, make it difficult for them to get the ball. Play out of defense, combine passes in the middle of the pitch. Their only bane was that in the final third, they couldn't create the opportunities. And we've seen the Ethiopian team in the past. They've come a long way. They've improved. If they're able to solve the problem of being able to create opportunities in the final third, they're going to be a very difficult team to play against. And so if they played as well as they did away from home at the Cape Coast Stadium, and if the Black Stars are going to have to play without Jordan Ayew and a number of, you know, key players away in South Africa, as disjointed as we saw them in yesterday's game, then you have to worry. I mean, South Africa, I'm not scared of South Africa, but you have to respect them. You know, we've gotten the results against them in recent years. In key matches, we've been able to beat them. But you still have to respect them. You still have to expect that they are going to play better than the Ethiopians. And that if the Black Stars play in the manner that they did against Ethiopia, I don't think that they are going to get a point of the South Africans in Joburg. You know, so that really is a worry. What are the options? This is where CK Akono has got to be bold. People have said it, and I'll repeat it. There was no reason why the day I should have seen 90 minutes in that game. I think that the day moving forward has to be an impact substitute for the Black Stars as far as his role is concerned. Yes, he's a skipper. Yes, he has to wear the captain's armband, and so maybe it presents a challenge to the coach as to how he's going to bench his player, his captain, I beg your pardon. But the work of a top-level coach is being able to make the big decisions. That is why we are paying you. That is why we are paying you $25,000 a month. You know, I'm sorry that for the last 8 months or so he hasn't been paid, but we will pay. We need to get value for that money. The value lies in him being able to make the big decisions. Against South Africa, he's got big calls to make. I said before his appointment that this job had come a bit too early for CK Akono. I'm sorry he's proving me right. I'm hoping that against South Africa, CK emerges as the top coach. CK emerges as the man to lead the Black Stars to Qatar 2022. Yes, they're asking this question that, look, do you think that, or would you deem it unfair, that the post-match analysis of this game will focus on the performance rather than the results? And for him, I mean, he said that we can have our opinions. He's satisfied with the 3 points. That is worrying. This is not a two-legged affair or a one-off game. You are playing in the qualifiers. When you are done, you have to play a playoff potentially against the Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Senegal, Egypt, any of the top sides of the continent. Two-legged tie. That is how you qualify for Qatar 2020. Qatar 2022, I beg your pardon. Now you tell me that at this moment, with this team, if CK Akono comes up against Senegal, are the Black Stars going into that game as favorites? Will the Black Stars say that they can confidently beat the Senegalese at this moment? The Malians whitewashed us. Are we going to beat Nigeria? Are we going to beat the Egyptians? You know, so there are critical questions that we need to ask. The answers are staring us in the face, and that is where the war is. You know, so CK has got big calls to make as far as the game against South Africa is concerned, and I'm praying and hoping that he comes into his own and make those big calls. That is why he's being paid. CK must show himself as a top coach. Sometimes you get opportunities that you haven't necessarily earned, and I don't think that CK earned the Black Stars job. Per the credentials he was coming into the job with, per the CV he was coming into the Black Stars job with. I mentioned that we lowered the bar to be able to employ CK Akono as Black Stars coach. I still hold that opinion. You know, because if we had opened it up and said that both expatriates and local coaches should apply, you can imagine the CVs that would have ended up at the Ghana Football Association for perusal. So he's gotten the job. I am hoping that CK proves that he's equal to the task. As a Ghanaian, I don't care what my opinions of him are. They are my opinions. But if he wins on the same platform, I will come and give him the plaudits. I will come and tell the FA to extend his contract. I want to be able to get on radio and say that, look, CK deserves a 5-year contract with the Black Stars. This is the time. The game against South Africa, for me, the key moment, that will tell me whether my opinion about CK Akono changes or not. It's just my opinion. But guess what? A lot of other people hold similar opinion. Increasingly, people are saying that CK Akono doesn't look like the right one for the job. I said that a long time ago. The game against South Africa offers me an opportunity to tell Ghanaians that indeed he's the right one for the job. And I'm hoping that he makes the right calls.
All right. Make the right calls. Finally, from your end, what kind of approach do you expect us to use? The South Africans can get a little pacey. We've seen that in their game in the South African Premier League. You see them pressing forward a lot and using the flanks and having a lot of pace and generally they would want to do that for their home fans and also make it to the FIFA World Cup, just like we also are aspiring to for a fourth time.
We have to be tactically disciplined. Look, there's a qualifier. There as you go along, a certain picture emerges. We are top of the table at this moment. A draw in South Africa will not be a bad result at all for us. You know, it won't be a bad result at all. We must keep it tight, but must also have an attacking outlet. So if we are going to keep it tight, are we going to play on the counter? If we are going to play on the counter, are we going to use our wingers? Are we going to hit them through the middle? You know, but what is fundamental is that we cannot go and play the South African game. We have to play our own game. We have to manage the game well. And that is where CK comes in. How well he manages this game. You know, there'll be moments where certain substitutions will be required to ensure that we get a draw rather than get nothing at all from this game. Those key decisions, how well he makes them. However we choose to play, tactically we must be very disciplined. The players must understand the defensive shape that the coach wants them to adopt. We can't go there and try to run at the South Africans and they are playing at home. We have to show them that respect. We need to have a proper game plan and be able to execute it. We cannot afford to go there and be as disjointed as we were. Look, if you've got the Ethiopians working the ball from the back through the middle, and it has to take the intervention of Alexander Djiku for us to be able to stop them in the final third, then there is a lot wrong, you know, as far as the team is concerned, in terms of the way they press, in terms of the way they shape up defensively. And so we need to be tactically disciplined. We need to keep it tight and find an attacking outlet because you cannot defend for the whole 90 minutes. You need to find a way to create opportunities. You know, by the heart of it all, I think that we have to be able to manage the game. knowing that a draw would serve us better than coming back to Ghana with nothing at all. That really should be the focus. I'm sure that if at the end of 90 minutes goalless or 1-1 or 3-3 or whatever, CK Akona would be a very satisfied man because he'll still maintain his position at the top of the table. And so the most important thing is that we don't go to South Africa and lose. Look, when we qualified for the 2006 World Cup, we know what we went to South Africa and did. These days, we don't have the level of the quality that we have in the Muntabis and the Asians and the like. We have to make do with what we have. How do we manage to get the best out of them? That is CK Akono's job. I think that he has to keep it tight and find an attacking outlet. Is he going to go down the flanks? Is he going to go through the middle? However he chooses to go, that attacking outlet has to be there, because if you keep it tight, if you defend so well, and you are not able to create opportunities and counter-attacking opportunities emerge, and you are not able to fashion them out, really, I mean, you haven't done anything. I think that it won't be a disaster by any stretch if we lose, but ideally, we shouldn't go to South Africa and lose. At the very least, let's get a point of the South Africans, come back home, grab the 3 points. Hopefully we go to Ethiopia and are able to grab the 3 points and all of that. So, I mean, that really is the fundamental point. Our team must be set up in a way that we are not going to be losing against South Africa in Joburg.
Okay, Hans, thank you so much for your time here. And the message is very clear. It's such a crucial assignment that we cannot go and lose there in Joburg.
Absolutely. We cannot afford to lose. I'm very optimistic that we're coming out home as winners of that particular match. Worst case scenario, Hans is saying that when we're able to draw, but I would not go in for draw. I would push that we go and win that game. We are capable of winning it. Now, like Hans said, the fact that Jordan Ayew is not going to play is going to put a bit of pressure on the coach. However, we have capable and equal good players that can replace Jordan. But to me, the most important thing we need to do as a country against South Africa is, one, we all saw the way Wakaso was playing yesterday. His quick reaction to the ball. I mean, whether it is in transition or he's defending, or the reaction is very quick. If we're able to get 3-4 players that are so quick in reacting to the ball like the way Wakaso did yesterday, trust me, we're going to win our match against South Africa. I also expect that in the second half yesterday, I saw our Ghanaian players doing a little bit of high pressing. When in the first half, they were very relaxed, allowing the Ethiopians to build their attack from behind. But in the second half, I saw some couple of pressing going on, and it really helped the team yesterday. So I expect to see more of those in our match against South Africa. We do not have to create a lot of space in our team when playing with South Africa. They have the speed, they can possess the ball well. We always have to make sure that we are blocking all the passing lines, and we are ensuring that we are not giving them any space to possess the ball. Let's do the high pressing. Let's psych all the players to be quick in terms of their reaction to the ball against South Africa, and utilize our chances. Once we get it, let's utilize it. We call it the moment in football. It doesn't come often, but once it comes, you have to make sure that you kill it.
Well, the moment in football is very, very important, and you have to kill it once it gets to you. So there are some results from around the world as well. Some of the games will be played, this weekend. Well, so today and tomorrow, and into the early part of next week, as we look forward to seeing if the Black Stars can replicate the feats of 2006, 2010, and 2014 by qualifying for yet another FIFA World Cup in Qatar. You can send in your messages at 055-1111-997, 055-1111-997. And also, you can reach us on phone. It's 0302-216-541, 0302-216-541. Call and, get through to my producer and let him put you through. 0302-216-541. Coach, you wanted to add something?
Yes, I wanted to commend Amate yesterday.
Daniel Amate.
Yes, he did extremely well. He he determined how we're building our attack from defense. He was not ballowing the ball. Anytime he gets the ball, he tries to pass the ball among the defenders, and then obviously the midfielders, Wakaso and Baba, will come for the ball, and then they will start serving our attackers. If it were to be a typical, excuse me to say, defender who was not really experienced, what he will be doing, he will result in ballowing the balls inside. Amate did not balloon the ball inside yesterday, and I was so impressed with him. Anytime he gets the opportunity, he's looking at the passing option instead of the ballooning the ball inside the half of the Ethiopians.
0302-216-541, 0302-216-541. Do we have a caller on the line? Hello, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on the Joy Sports Link.
Yes, yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Tell me your name and where you're reaching us from, please.
From Aquapim South.
Okay,
South.
very well. Please go ahead.
The Jordan forecast, I think, is a mere jealousy. If someone is a good fighter and can score goals for the team, I think it's a welcome news. I once met some people discussing about the U family. Someone said they should forget about the U family. Why? Because they made the team just like a family team, which doesn't go well because they are related or they are one family and they can meet him for the team. I think there's no problem with it.
All right, thank you.
But some people have a problem with that.
Thank you very much for your thoughts there. 0302-216-541, 0302-216-541. We'll be taking you around the world as well with some key results that have been recorded so far in the qualifiers that are yet to be played. Of course, there'll be more analysis on tomorrow's edition of the Joy Sports Arena between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. right here on this dial. Now, let's just quickly do a bit of these games that are, that are to be played. Of course, some were played yesterday as well. And would get on the phone line first as Samuel is reaching us from Teshi. Samuel, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please go ahead.
Yes. Looking at the problem on the Ghana Black Stars, I'll say from the cultural perspective, because when you look at other nations, they have an identity of their football that their natural football.
Can you speak up, Samuel? Can you speak up a little bit? We're struggling to hear you. Can you speak up a little bit?
Is it okay now?
Yes, please go ahead now.
Okay, I think that the problem with the Ghana national team is a cultural perspective. Every country have the identity of football they play. Like when you look at Brazil, you look at Germany, when you look at their football, you could see that the kind of football they play. But for the Ghana national team, it's more of any coach that comes in play his philosophy, and the team has to adapt. But the GFA has to look at the perspective of the cultural perspective, the identity of Ghana football, because it runs through our blood from the very little boy up to the older person. You could see it play very well in our junior team, under 17 and 20. They play very clean football, attacking football, not defensive football. So it's very important that as a country, we identify and work around it. And when a coach comes, he tries and ways to implement it. With that, every player knows that this is how we do it. It's more of how are we going to attack.
All right.
Because we are not at the Brazil of Africa. So we have to find a way of resolving those problems so that we perform well in the highest level.
All right, now let's get to Mohammed in Ablikuma. Mohammed, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on the Joy Sports Link.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for your good work in the motherland.
Thank you.
Well, you see, sometimes when it comes to the football sector, we are always rejoicing. But one thing that hurting us in our motherland is the teamwork. It is not good. Some used to take the football system like a political race. Meanwhile, football has to be different with the political system because of football is something that is giving us unique, giving us united, making the things that are going on to become a good. That is what we know about football. So if we want to move forward, as Dr. Kwame Nkrumah always says, as a forward ever, we should come together and know football is not something about partisan. It is about united play. That is why we love the football. So we want the leaders to take pressure out of it. They should take money problem out of it and look at the units first before money. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much, Mohammed and Ablekuma. The next will be Shaleboche, and David is on standby to contribute to the conversation. David, good to have you on the Joy Sports Link.
Good to have you too. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Today, for me, I was impressed about the performer the boys put. But the only problem I'm having is the coach. Some of the substitution he do is not right. We have Barnier, we have Opoku, but look at Jordan and the brother. You all can see that they were tired at point of time. You see, but I believe going to South Africa, we can win. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, David. What I also realize with all of these thoughts is that, while people are disappointed, there is still a certain level of understanding amongst a few people, that look, these guys are not your regular guys who have played together for a long time. And so, you should give them, cut them some slack. Okay, let me get back on the phone line. Ejare is my next caller. Ejare, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, boss. I hope all is well with you.
Thank you. Thank you for asking.
Yes. For me, yesterday, I actually was in a, very disconsolate state because at the end of the match, I was asking myself, is this a victory or this is actually, a loss? Because for Ghana Black Stars to play, in our own house and I mean playing home with Ethiopia, and we were able to score only one goal, boss. The performance was just unspeakable, very bad, very, very, very bad. And I was asking myself, so are these the only materials that we have, or something actually went into the selection of the boys? Because do we have some players there that we didn't call who are actually better than these guys, or these guys are all the arsenals we have now? But because this question is something that we must really interrogate to see, because if this is the performance that we are going to, put across in terms of going to South Africa and how we want to go and win the AFCON, then they to continue to be a wishful dream, because the performance was very bad. And I don't know whether I should blame the coach or I should blame the boys. But in a nutshell, I think that if we really want to go back to our days that we were performing splendidly, then probably we have to be very, circumspect in terms of being transparent in the kind of selection that we do. Because I do not think that these are the guys that we have in terms of the best of materials that we have. That if that is the case, that these are the best materials we have, boss, then there's a doom ahead. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Ejari, for the thoughts there. And we're still reviewing what happened yesterday at the Cape Coast Stadium. And let's just quickly take you around a few key scores from yesterday. Let's go to the CONMEBOL region. And Argentina beat Venezuela by 3-1. And Argentina are on the rise. Lionel Messi looking forward to adding the FIFA World Cup to his trophies and silverware after, helping Argentina to win the Copa America. Now, Brazil beat Chile by 1-0, and Peru and Uruguay drew 1-1. Well, so some more games. The USA and El Salvador also drew goalless, and Jamaica, the Reggae Boys of Jamaica, had lost by 2-1 to Mexico. Costa Rica and Panama also drew goalless. Canada and Honduras also, drew 1-1. These are some key results from the, CONMEBOL region. Now, just before we get back on the phone line, let me just quickly do a few of the updated results from the CAF region as well. So, in Group B, Mauritania, they were beaten 2-1 by Zambia. Now, Tunisia are running all guns blazing, and they beat Equatorial Guinea by 3-0. Now, in Group C, Nigeria beat Liberia by 2-0. In Group D, Ivory Coast and Mozambique played out a goalless drawn game. Now, Cameroon, they beat Malawi by 2-0. And in Group G, it's South Africa and Zimbabwe drawing goalless, which is actually a good thing for us. We'll be coming to that very, very shortly. But let's get back on the phone line. Kisi from Nuningo. Kisi, it's good to have you here on the show today.
Yeah, Nat, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And then let me see, Nat, can you remember the last time Jordan scored for us as a striker in the Black Stars? Can you remember?
Well, he scored a couple of goals for the Black Stars. I can't immediately remember which one was the last one. Yes.
Okay. Let me go on. Please, let me add CK. Okay, when you invite the players, you should please play them. Okay. Look at yesterday, Yaya Boy was sitting on the bench. Look at the poor that guy playing. Kobe Poku, a very good striker. Let's try them so that we can get. We are unable to score South Africa in Joburg. I'm not sure we can qualify for it. Even if we top this group, okay, we are also going to meet the likes of the Senegal, the Egypt, the Nigeria, the Cameroon. So please, let's up our game. Yesterday's performance was very abysmal. It was very below par. So please, let's get the players and then do the work for us. This is what they do for us so that we will also be happy. We're begging them by the promotion. They should do it for us because we can't afford to miss this World Cup in Qatar at all. Please. Thank you very much, Nat.
Thank you very much, Kisi from Nuningo. And, there's also the thought about, having big players and key players in your squad and having that psychological edge as well over your opponents. So putting together a squad that will have key players. And also let's remember that if Jordan had not played this game, then it meant that he wouldn't have contributed to any of the two, considering what's been happening, considering all of the regulations with COVID-19 and all of that. Let's go back on the phone line and speak to Gariba. Gariba, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, Gariba from the Union. Yeah, I want to know about why the coach didn't play Samarusu. Because he's a guy who knows going to ball, dribbling about 3 or 4 people, make sure contact for the other players to perform. But yesterday, if you watch the game, there's no any player who was doing that. So I was asking myself, where is that guy? And I hear he didn't do well this yesterday. So we need to come and speak. Why didn't he play Samarusu? Because one of them had the speed, had the pace, they can dribble to the players at the same time. So if you need that guy in any of our matches to play. So I think seeking to answer how he didn't play the guy yesterday. And I hope he will be to South Africa. He will play the guy responsible, not the guy that we are looking up to now.
All right, thank you very much. Coach, I'm just imagining if we had probably won this game by 3-0. Would because football fans get like that sometimes, would we have gotten this same level of criticism from the fans?
Yeah, somehow a little bit of it, because Ghanaians they really understand football now and they love football. The one thing that people are so passionate about scientifically is religion. And I can tell you with all confidence that football is overtaking religion now. I mean, because of the passion they have for it, they would definitely have to come out when they think it's not going on right. We could have scored 10 goals and they would still say, I mean, even though we scored, we didn't play well. But hey, as I always say, Nats, look at our group. Out of 4, we are the only team that has 3 good points. For me, it's a good start. It is not what everybody would like, but we've done something and we've gotten good result. Let's see how we play against South Africa, which I think it will also go in our favor as well. But you cannot stop fans from saying what they want to say because of the passion they have for football, especially Ghanaians.
Well, great stuff there. Great stuff there. All right, so let's see if we can get a few more to get in, and then after that we can get into the final part of the show as we look ahead. Let's do some more messages here. All right, so this is from Pakofi in Lakeside. Okay, I think Jordan needs to be talked to. He plays too much selfish games. I believe it is high time we stop playing around their youth formation, because they don't. When they don't get a good day, then the whole team flops. For the striker's point made by your panel, Jordan is currently a striker given opportunity so far. Now, I'm not a regular sports fan, but I know that a soccer team, I know that soccer is teamwork. And so if teamwork is not there, then the whole purpose of good soccer is forfeited. I feel that there should be a competition at the strikers department. Pakofi, thank you very much for that message. This one is from this next phone call is from my namesake Nat. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Nat. How are you?
I'm great. Please go ahead.
Thank you for your program. I think we talk too much. We talk too much. To start from where your guest ended, why can't we congratulate the guys? Encourage them and tell them that history can repeat itself if they don't score more goals. What stops us from encouraging them? And we always want to hound people out. For what? Is it for our own self or for the country? How many sports science have we developed? What is our sports plan for the next 20 years? How many coaches are we doing? What is government doing? And you think because you are not developing your so Ethiopia should sit down and wait to look at you. This is excuse me, this is stupidity. We should rise up. What are the policies when it comes to science administration in this country? How many strikers are we developing? We are attacking science, the thing. How many players are we developing for midfield, for defense? How many goalkeepers? We should come out with the statistics. What is the statistical service sitting there doing? What work are they doing? Can they feed the public with this information so that we know that, look, we can take these people from this pool? Government is paying for the next 20 years. We are developing 50 coaches. We are developing, let's say, 1,000 of players from every angle for the next 20 years. Because you see, if I cannot beat you at the club level, we have a World Cup level to beat ourselves. If we don't move this way, they always give us only 5 slots because they know when we come, we have the strength. And every athlete knows that you need strength to perform. What are we doing to ourselves? And we only want to criticize, and the day Azam was, look, experience is everything if you don't know. If we want you to, what if the game is continuing to 120 minutes, extra time? Who is the next batch to continue where some others are? The day has been playing for since when? 2010. Experience counts. Okay? It is only 3 alternatives when it comes to a match. You win, you lose, you draw. Why don't we want to accept it or always want to go for the glory? It is good, but we should take our time, we should prepare. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's now get, Coach, your thoughts as we wrap this up on this subject about the experienced players. I mean, we had a texter talk about, getting a Jan, getting a Muntari, and we know very well that these guys are not exactly active at this time.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot play football when you are not ready to play football. You need some requirement, just like if you want to go to the uni, you would have to get a good grade in SSC. Now, if you do not have that requirement, there is no way you're going to play the way we want you to play. What are those requirements? One of them is speed. The other ones is endurance. I mean, I can name them on and on, but let me summarize it with the psychological state of a player. Now, these are the requirements that you need. To me, it's not about whether you're an experienced player or you are not. this becomes an added advantage to you if you're an experienced player, if you have all these requirements. Again, beyond this, we should not forget that we also have a coach who is like a driver of the team. It depends on what he or she likes. If you were given a pen and a paper to list the number, to do a call-up for Black Star today, we're going to get different players altogether. So the man leading has a lot to do with who plays in which team. To me, a lot depends on the coach. However, I mean, he cannot go and call players that are not match fit. They are match rusty. They are overweighted. They do not have speed. They do not have power. Psychologically, they are not even ready to play football. That's not possible. So this argument of experience, you can only talk about experience when you have some level of readiness to play. And then the experience would come to play. Just like what we saw Wakaso did yesterday. I mean, he's ready to play and he's used his experience, and we saw the result. We cannot say that to some players that are not actively playing football as I speak to you now.
Wow, interesting stuff there. Well, time just keeps racing and racing and racing. And so this is where we would want to wrap it up. But it's clear that we cannot afford to lose the game against South Africa on Monday.
No, we don't have any option. We only have to win that game if we really would like to qualify for the World Cup. And I wish the team all the best. They should forget about what happened yesterday. Every match has its own challenges. They should face the next coming match with all seriousness and mindset. All the coaches should get onto the drawing boards and ensure that they sack the players very well to get a win, which I'm very optimistic we can win the match.
Okay, there we go. And this one is from David from Enterprise Life. He says, please, the team did not play well, but I still expect them to do well in the next game. Okay, thank you very much for that message there. Apologies to all those whose messages we couldn't read, but, well, it's all good. The conversation will continue, and I'm just hoping that, once again, like I always say, from a Ghanaian perspective, we can have this right and get it right, you know, as we look ahead to that very big game. Today happens to be the birthday of my good brother and friend, Tarasqua. Tarasqua's birthday today, and he's the head of products at Ecobank. Tarasqua, happy blessed birthday to you, and big ups from all of us here. And of course, I'm going to come back on the radio later today to do a big shout, but I'm still going to start it off. You know, this month is a very big month for me personally because my mom is turning a big 6-0, and right now as we speak, my big brother, my big brother Albert Atto, who's a big listener of Joy 99.7 FM all these years, is all the way in Australia, locked down because of COVID, and has to celebrate his 50th birthday. So happy birthday to Albert Atto. For those of you who know him, just send him a message on his WhatsApp line. All right, guys. So tomorrow, there'll be more to discuss here from 4 p.m. on the Joy Sports Arena with the Joy Sports team. So you have to stay with us on those as well. We're going to bring you some of the big subjects from this big international weekend. And we're going to throw a lot of focus on, you know, the international angles and what our expectations are from the big performers and the big names and what we want to see them do. So that's it for us from here in the studios at 355 Fanofa Street. And thanks so much to you, Coach Osman Seidu. Always a pleasure having you here on the show. And thanks to all of you. Unfortunately, we were unable to get the thoughts of Derek Boateng. Unfortunately, we couldn't get his connectivity right. We're going to get it right another time. So the headline news at 2 is up next with my man and your man, Elton John Brobe. And so, thanks to my lead producer for today, Benaya Elom Dafiamepo, thank you so much. And to the rest of the Joy Sports team, thank you. And I'll be back in a fortnight's time because, you know, I'm going to celebrate my mom during the weekend. So, guys, forgive me. My name is Nathaniel Atto, and I have love for sport.
Thank you.